Hello everyone, and a warm welcome to our channel. In today's special episode, we're embarking on an extraordinary journey back in time to explore one of the Bible's most profound narratives, the story of Ezekiel and the Valley of Dry Bones. Found in the 37th chapter of Ezekiel, this tale is not merely a recounting of ancient miracles but serves as a profound symbol of hope, renewal, and the indomitable spirit of faith. As we unravel the layers of this mesmerizing vision, we invite you to delve deep with us into the heart of a story that transcends centuries, offering insights and inspiration that resonate just as powerfully in our modern world. Through the eyes of Ezekiel, we witness a miracle that challenges the boundaries of possibility and speaks to the core of our struggles, dreams, and the everlasting promise of restoration. Stay tuned as we uncover the timeless truths hidden within this epic biblical passage. Before we dive into the visionary tale of Ezekiel and the Valley of Dry Bones, let's set the stage by understanding the backdrop against which this story unfolds. Ezekiel was both a priest and a prophet, living during one of the most tumultuous periods in Israel's history, the Babylonian exile. This era marked a significant turning point for the people of Israel, as they were uprooted from their homeland and taken captive to Babylon. It was a time of profound despair and dislocation, a period where hope seemed like a distant memory. Ezekiel's prophecies emerged in this context of crisis and uncertainty. Unlike the serene landscapes of Jerusalem, his visions were birthed in the harsh terrains of exile, speaking to a community struggling to see beyond their immediate predicament. The Babylonian exile wasn't just a physical displacement, it was a spiritual and cultural upheaval, shaking the foundations of Jewish identity and faith. The temple was destroyed, the monarchy was dismantled, and the people were left questioning the promises and presence of their God. It's against this backdrop of loss and longing that Ezekiel's vision of the Valley of Dry Bones resonates so profoundly. His prophecies offered a beacon of hope, a promise of revival and restoration when all seemed lost. Ezekiel's message wasn't just about the physical return to the homeland but a deeper restoration of faith and identity. He spoke of a future where the scattered bones of a disheartened nation would rise again, not just as a reunited people but as a renewed community, spiritually alive and reconnected with their God. As we explore this story, it's crucial to grasp the depth of despair that marked this period and the incredible resilience and faith it took to envision a future beyond exile. The vision of the Valley of Dry Bones stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of a people and the unbreakable promises of restoration and renewal. In the heart of the Babylonian exile, amidst despair and longing for home, the prophet Ezekiel is swept away by the Spirit of the Lord to a valley filled with dry bones. This valley, vast and desolate, becomes the canvas for one of the most powerful prophetic visions in the Bible. The dry bones scattered across the valley floor symbolize the profound despair and perceived hopelessness of the Israelite people during their captivity. They felt utterly forsaken, their hopes dried up like these bones, far from the promise of life and restoration. Ezekiel stands alone in this valley, surrounded by symbols of death and abandonment. It's here that God poses a penetrating question to him: Son of man, can these bones live? This question is not just about the revival of dry bones but touches the heart of human despair and the possibility of divine intervention. Ezekiel's response, "O sovereign Lord, you alone know," reflects a deep faith in God's omnipotence, acknowledging that the restoration lies solely within divine power. Following this, God commands Ezekiel to prophesy over these bones, to speak life into the death that surrounds him. As Ezekiel obeys, a miraculous transformation unfolds. There's a rattling noise as bone comes together with bone, signifying the beginnings of a transformation that only divine power could initiate. Sinews and flesh form over them, and skin covers them, but there's no breath in them yet. This stage of the vision underscores a crucial aspect of restoration. It is a process, one that involves stages and the hand of God in each. Then, God instructs Ezekiel to call upon the four winds to breathe life into these reassembled bodies. This act of breathing life is deeply symbolic, echoing the creation of Adam, where God breathes life into him. It's a reminder that the same divine breath that brought life into the first human can resurrect a whole nation from the depths of despair. As the breath enters them, the dry bones stand up, an exceedingly great army, symbolizing the revival of Israel's hope and the promise of their return to the land God had given their ancestors. This vision goes beyond the immediate context of national restoration. It speaks to the universal human condition of despair and the longing for renewal. The dry bones represent not just the Israelites in exile but every person who has faced the depths of hopelessness. The process of the bones coming together, being covered with flesh, and finally being filled with breath is a powerful metaphor for the spiritual revival that God promises to all who seek Him. Moreover, the vision of the valley of dry bones is a profound statement about the power of God's word through the act of prophecy. Ezekiel's words, spoken in faith, become the vehicle for divine action, illustrating the power of spoken truth to bring about change. This emphasizes the role of faith and the spoken word in the process of transformation and restoration. The restoration of the dry bones to a living, breathing army serves as a vivid promise of Israel's physical and spiritual restoration. It reassures the people that despite their current exile and despair, God has not forsaken them. The vision promises that they will return to their land, rebuild their lives, and restore their relationship with God. It's a testament to the power of hope and the unbreakable will of the human spirit, guided by divine promise. As we reflect on this vision, it's essential to recognize its timeless relevance. It speaks to every generation facing despair, reminding us that renewal and restoration are always within reach. The vision of the Valley of Dry Bones encourages us to look beyond our immediate circumstances, to trust in the transformative power of faith, and to believe in the possibility of new beginnings, no matter how improbable they may seem. The vision of the Valley of Dry Bones, as presented by Ezekiel, is laden with profound symbolism and deep theological implications, serving as a bridge between despair and hope, death and life, exile and return. At its core, the vision is a powerful allegory for the spiritual and national resurrection of the Israelite people, but its layers of meaning extend far beyond, touching upon universal themes of human condition, divine intervention, and the transformative power of faith. The dry bones scattered across the valley symbolize the utter desolation and hopelessness felt by the Israelites in Babylonian exile. These bones represent not just physical death but a spiritual and communal death, a people disconnected from their land, their identity, and their God. The condition of the bones being very dry emphasizes the depth of their despair, suggesting a situation seemingly beyond the possibility of revival. The step-by-step restoration of the bones to a living army is symbolic of the gradual process of spiritual revival and national restoration. It mirrors the journey from despair to hope, emphasizing that renewal often involves multiple stages: reconstruction, bones coming together, reanimation, flesh and sinews covering the bones, and revitalization, breath entering the bodies. This process illustrates that true restoration, both individual and communal, requires more than just physical rebuilding. It necessitates a rekindling of spirit and faith. The breath that brings the dry bones to life echoes the creation narrative in Genesis, where God breathes life into Adam. This parallel draws a direct line between the act of creation and the act of restoration, emphasizing that the same divine power responsible for bringing life into being is also capable of resurrecting that which was dead. The divine breath is a symbol of God's Spirit, highlighting the essential role of divine presence and action in the process of renewal and emphasizing the theme of new creation. Ezekiel's role in the vision underscores the importance of prophecy and the spoken word in the divine economy. His act of prophesying to the bones at God's command highlights the power of God's word to effect change and the mediator role of the prophet in facilitating God's will. This aspect of the vision reinforces the belief in the potency of divine communication and the responsibility of the faithful to listen and respond. Theologically, the vision presents a rich tapestry of themes: resurrection, hope, divine sovereignty, and covenant renewal. It offers a robust affirmation of God's ability to bring life out of death, to restore hope in the midst of despair. The vision serves as a testament to God's unwavering commitment to His people, promising not just a return to their land but a renewal of their spirit and covenant relationship with Him. It reassures the faithful of God's power over life and death, both in a physical and spiritual sense, and his desire for their full restoration. Furthermore, the vision transcends its immediate historical context, offering a timeless message of hope and renewal to all who encounter it. It speaks to the enduring human experience of facing insurmountable odds and the longing for divine intervention. Through this vision, Ezekiel communicates that restoration and renewal are always within reach, provided there is faith in God's promises and obedience to his commands. In conclusion, the vision of the Valley of Dry Bones stands as a monumental testament to the power of faith, the depth of divine love, and the promise of restoration. It challenges believers to look beyond their current circumstances, to trust in the transformative power of God's Spirit, and to embrace the hope of new beginnings, no matter how distant or impossible they may seem. The story of Ezekiel and the Valley of Dry Bones stands as a profound testament to the power of faith and the boundless capacity for renewal that lies within the divine promise. Through Ezekiel's vision, we are reminded that no situation, no matter how dire, is beyond the reach of God's transformative power. This ancient narrative transcends its historical context, speaking directly to the heart of every generation that faces despair and longing for change. At its core, this vision is a message of hope, a divine assurance that life can emerge from death, and renewal from destruction. It challenges us to see beyond our immediate circumstances, to trust in the possibilities that faith in God's promises can bring. The dry bones, once symbols of utter desolation, become beacons of hope, rising as an army infused with life by the breath of God. Ezekiel's experience in the valley invites us to reflect on our own valleys of dry bones, the areas in our lives where hope seems lost and dreams feel like dust. It encourages us to listen for the voice of God, to respond with faith, and to anticipate the miraculous work of restoration God is eager to perform in our lives. As we conclude our journey through this remarkable vision, let us carry forward the message it bears, that with God, no situation is irreversible, no despair is final, and no death is absolute. In the hands of the divine, what was once dry and lifeless can be revived, renewed, and filled with life once more. Let the story of Ezekiel and the Valley of Dry Bones inspire us to hold fast to hope, to believe in the power of resurrection, and to trust in the promise of new beginnings.